Welcome to Talk Sports with D-Mac, yours truly. And on this show, we talk about all sports related topics, but mainly my Philadelphia Eagles. And we're coming at you in three, two, one. Welcome back, guys, to Talk Sports with your boy D-Mac. And yes, I want to take this time to talk to you guys about the NFL, man. What happened on this past Sunday? What happened last night, Monday Night Football. The Cowboys find a way to beat the LA Chargers. Was it 20-17? That let me speak on that first because I'm an Eagles fan, right? I personally just don't like Cowboys. Like my brother is a Cowboys fan, my dad's a Cowboys fan. I don't like the Cowboys at all. Period. I don't like the Cowboys at all. But I'm a fair NFL type person. I'm a fair NFL fan. So all in all, man, I personally didn't like that the Cowboys won last night and my Philadelphia Eagles lost on Sunday afternoon against the Jets. Now, the only other good thing that made that this weekend, a little bit better was that the 49ers lost also. 49ers lost and to the Cleveland Browns. That kind of made me feel a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie. So that helped out with the feeling. Um, but as far as the Eagles game against the Jets, I did not like at all what happened in that game. The only good thing is that I was kind of proud of what type of effort the defense was able to put out because the defense, even though we're going up against Zach Wilson and everything like that, but the defense was able to keep them out of the end zone until, the fourth quarter when they just let them score, obviously, so that they could get the ball back. But man, super disappointed in what I saw from the Eagles offense and Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, really, really uncharacteristic of him to turn the ball over three times, three interceptions and Swift fumbled the ball. So four total turnovers for the offense. You cannot win a game like that. No matter who you play, chances are you're gonna lose that game if you turn the ball over four times. And I'm pretty sure these guys, they have a lot of pride about what they're doing and all that type of stuff. So I'm pretty sure they'll get back to work and try to tighten things up, try to get back in the win column this weekend against the Miami Dolphins. That's gonna be a huge test. That's gonna be a big test. The Dolphins have probably the number one offense in the league right now. Very explosive, fast offense that they have in Miami, trying to stop Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and they've been running the ball pretty well. It's gonna be a tall task, man. And those guys, they come out and they play with a lot of fire. They play with a lot of energy. So Eagles got to come out, man, swinging. They got to come out ready. They got to come out firing. Can't be no slow starts. Can't be no turnovers. No stupid mistakes. No stupid penalties. They have to come out balling, ready to ball, point blank, period. Can't be no mistakes, none of that type of stuff. Now, as far as this past Sunday, right? Now, I am not at all, like I said, I'm not at all. We got kind of spoiled as Eagles fans. We kind of got spoiled over last year with the magical run and everything, and getting to the Super Bowl and just coming up short to the Kansas City Chiefs by 3 points. That was a great season. This year, I think there's still high expectations of the team. and rightfully so. They just came off a Super Bowl. You should be able to come back with a lot of your core intact. You should be able to come back and maintain a level of success that was similar to what you had last year. I think a lot of people, not a lot of national analysts, are speaking of the team in that same way. But as far as Sunday, man, they did not play up to what I expect from them. They did not play up to what they expect from themselves, and it was disappointing. It was really disappointing. I didn't go into, I didn't start watching that game at all and think that the Eagles will lose to the Jets because I just didn't see it happening at all. Um, but things happen, man. Things happen. They had a bad game. I'm pretty sure that they nobody in the NFL was gonna go undefeated. So you're gonna lose a game, and a lot of times it ends up being a game that you didn't think you were gonna lose. That's just the way things kind of play out like that. But you know, looking for them to bounce back this coming Sunday. I haven't seen any fumbles at all from DeAndre Swift this season. So I doubt that that is something that'll keep happening. That Jets defense they was just very energetic, man, flying all over the place. They probably it looked like the guy kind of punched the ball out and on that Swift fumble. Um, the Dallas Goddard interception, it just kind of like hit him in the chest and bounced off, and then the defensive lineman caught the ball. It's like, a lot of fluky type things, man. I think there was only one interception, which was that last one when Jalen threw it. He was trying to throw the ball to Dallas Goddard in double coverage. I mean, I think that was probably the only one that was actually Jalen Hurts' fault. But the other ones, the other two interceptions, I really don't think that they were his fault. You know what I mean? Like when people analyze the game and they analyze football and you know about football and you see there's a lot of things that transpire during this after the snap of the ball, right? It could be a timing issue between the wide receiver and the quarterback. It could be just a miscommunication about the route and things like that. So it was very unfortunate, man. But I don't see that being a trend. You know what I mean? Like Jalen Hurts is not the type of quarterback. He's not gonna keep turning the ball over like that. I think that game was an anomaly, and they'll bounce back this week against the Dolphins. I'm looking forward to this Sunday's game. I think it's gonna be a good game. I think the team is gonna come out with some fire and some energy because of what happened on Sunday. And also, they're gonna be at home. They're gonna be playing in their throwback Kelly Green uniforms. So, you know, when you might think that that's not a factor, man, but one thing about it, man, that I feel like when you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. When you feel good, you look good, you play good, you work good. You know what I mean? Like, the way you look, it can play a factor in how you feel or how you play or how you work, do your job or whatever the case may be. So, looking forward to seeing that. Um, I did not expect. I fully expected to be 6-0 after this past Sunday, but it didn't happen. Did not happen at all, unfortunately. Uh, the Jets. They have played a lot of good quarterbacks over these first 6 games from Pat Mahomes. They Pat Mahomes did not look good in that game, either. So, the Jets got a pretty good defense, man. I feel like you can't go into the season, right, and acquire Aaron Rodgers like they did without knowing that you have a really good team to put around him because in their eyes, they wanted to get a quarterback that they knew that could, you know, deliver what they needed to get them to a Super Bowl. Now, a lot of talk is going around that Aaron Rodgers is, trying to make a comeback this season, maybe at the tail end of the season, the last month of the season, going to the playoffs if they make the playoffs. So I think that's what their goal is, to try and remain as competitive as they can, remain with Zach Wilson at quarterback. They're going to rely heavily on their defense to carry them most of the way as much as possible. While trying to allow Zach Wilson to progress or make some kind of progression, or at least not cost them the game. I think that is the biggest thing. Like, manage the game. Don't give the game away for us, and let our defense kind of like just take over and keep us in games type of thing. I feel like that's their end goal. Aaron Rodgers was out there on Sunday on the field a little bit, kind of throwing the ball around, and when people see stuff like that, they're like, he looks pretty good. He looks decent or whatever. Like he's looks like he's progressing. Looks like he might have a chance. And who knows, man? Like a lot of I personally haven't seen or don't know of any NFL players that have suffered an Achilles injury and came back in the same season and played. Usually that's a done deal. It takes you that whole year to kind of get back to where you, and a little bit into the next season for you before you're fully back to your normal self. But hey, man, we'll see if they do end up making the playoffs, and he does try to come back, which I'm pretty sure he probably would try to if he's like 80% or whatever like that. But I'm gonna tell you one thing about it though. The Jets offensive line is not good. So they better do something to kind of shore up that offensive line if they even think that Aaron Rodgers is gonna come back and try to help them win in the playoffs or whatever the case may be. But off of that, hats off to them. They won the game. It is what it is. But after the game, I always watch the Eagles press conferences and the player press conferences and the coach press conferences. And the coach, you know, he said that when everybody got into the locker room, that usually when a team goes into the locker room at halftime after a game or whatever, the coach is the main person that is speaking to the team as far as encouragement or whatever message that they want to put out there. So after this game, this on past Sunday against the Jets, the coach said that the players, kind of took on that part of it, and they stood up and accepted accountability for the loss, and including Jalen Hurts, which I expect nothing less than that from him, because he is the leader of the team. He is the face of the team. He's one of the faces of the NFL. Just recently being in the Super Bowl and all that, he has all kinds of commercials and stuff like that. So I expected him, yes, to be one of the players that stood up and take accountability for the loss, because man, yeah, you did throw 3 interceptions. Even though I don't think all of them were his fault, it did happen. So you threw 3 interceptions, right? You didn't play all that well. Yes, you're the quarterback. Yes, you need to stand up and take accountability for what happened, right? So it wasn't just Jalen Hurts though. There were other players that stood up. I believe AJ Brown, even though he had a pretty good game, over 100 yards once again. He was one of the players that stood up and said something to the team. You can, during the course of that game, you could see, when the camera would pan to certain players or the coaches, you could see that, it was like, we're kind of like disgusted with, what's going on right now, because we know we're better than that. We know we can put out a better output, a better showing than what we're putting out right now. And it just wasn't going their way and at all. It was like, and I'm gonna tell you like this, like there's gonna be days when it's just not your day, whether that's in sports or that's in life or whatever the case may be. We all have bad days, and they had a bad day that game. This Sunday they had a bad game, they had a bad day. It just was not their day. From three interceptions to fumble to a missed field goal, like it was one thing after another. And Jake Elliott is a really good kicker, and he hasn't. I can't remember the last time he missed a field goal. This dude, we talking about the same dude who made over has made a 60-yard field goal already this season. So it's like, okay, Jake missed the field goal, and it was only what, 30 something yards field goal. Jake missed the field goal. So yeah, it's like when it rains, it pours. It's like one thing after another. He missed the field goal, the fumble, the interceptions, Devontae Smith dropping balls. Like, come on. How many times is that all of those things are just gonna it just happen like that? It doesn't happen like that often with this team. So just a bad day, man. Just a bad day. So um happy that the guys stood up and took the accountability for the loss. And um it shows ownership, it shows leadership, it shows, we can do better, we will do better. We're gonna get right back to work. um the head coach Nick Sirianni spoke yesterday to the media, and he kind of like, you know they asked him questions and stuff like that. But one of the things that one of the other things that kind of hurt us, and it has been hurting the Eagles so far this season, is all the injuries in the secondary have been crazy. Like in that Jets game alone, I, there was like three or four players that went out of the game with injury. And it's like, I know a lot of people um talk about the turf at MetLife Stadium and how, players tend to get hurt up there. But if that is like the factor that caused that or whatever, like they have to do something different, man, because that's ridiculous. We lost three or four defensive backs in that game, and I've never seen that happen in one game, or you lose that many players in the same, grouping, position grouping. So the Reed Blankenship injury, that had nothing to do with the turf. Okay, so that was like the wide receiver for the Jets, Alan Lazard, I think that's his name. He delivered a what I think was a cheap block on Blankenship after that one of those interceptions. So, but he like hit him in the ribs with his shoulder or whatever, like, so that one, yeah, that one didn't have anything to do with the turf or whatever. But those other guys, like Roby got hurt. It's like we had backup guys in the secondary at the end of that game, and they have to get some of those guys back. Already, um, Darius Slay was already out going into that game. Um, you had Jalen Carter, phenomenal rookie. He's been having a great season so far this year. He was out during the game. So it's like we're already down. We go into the game with some people out of position. Then, you get into the game and you're losing more and more people, more and more players, from the same position group and from corners to safeties. Like they just dropping like flies. So it's very hard. Luckily, we weren't playing a really good quarterback that could have taken advantage of the secondary and the state that it was in on Sunday, because man, it could have been a lot worse as far as the score goes, if that was the case. But guys got to get healthy, man. It's unfortunate that so many guys back there are getting injured, because I really believe, like, if they had stayed healthy, like, that secondary is one of the better secondaries in the league. But it's crazy, you know, the amount the amount of injuries that occurred in that game. But no more no more undefeated teams in the league. No, the Eagles and the 49ers were the last two undefeated teams. And in a way, I feel like that's a good thing. Of course, you don't you nobody never wants to lose, but I feel like in a way it's a good thing that it's like out of the way now, and people don't have to even talk about nobody being undefeated no more. And it's like, it's like a little bit of weight lifted off of them, where it's like you don't have to even entertain questions or stuff, or anything like that, about being undefeated, just like last year. You know what I mean? Where they every week, how long are you guys gonna stay undefeated? You think you guys can maintain being undefeated? And then you got all these media people on talk shows talking about undefeated and this and that, and the nobody's been went to a full season being undefeated since the 72 Dolphins. And it's like it's just something else that you have to talk about, that's a distraction from, let's just try to win this next game type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, but it's over. It's over and done with as far as that goes. The Eagles lost their first game of the season. This this next these next couple of games is gonna be really tough. They have the Dolphins next, of course, and after that, they're gonna go into like the tougher part of their schedule. So it's not gonna be easy going forward. I think they've gotten through um the lighter part of their schedule, and that's good because I feel like they've had to get through a lot of their growing pains or whatever, so to speak, with having two new coordinators. You got a new defensive coordinator, you got a new offensive coordinator, uh, Sean Desai, and um, drawing a blank on the offensive coordinator, his name. But yeah, man, they got Dolphins, Dolphins, Cowboys, Bills, Commanders, Chiefs, 49ers. It's like these are not going to be any easy games by any stretch. So they gotta really put their hard hats on, man. Put their big boy draws on, and get to work, man, because none of this is gonna be easy the rest of the way. And they're gonna be challenged tremendously in these next couple of games with playing on so many good teams going forward, like the Bills. November 6th, November 26th, they got the Bills. The Bills have been playing really good. They got November 5th, the Cowboys. I'm not scared at all about the Cowboys, and I fully hope they whoop the Cowboys twice. But the Cowboys have been uh, one of the good teams in the NFL this season. So you never know, what you're gonna get from them. But you know, Dolphins, Commanders, Chiefs, 49ers. I think the three games that well, I guess it's four since we played the Cowboys twice. Playing the Cowboys twice every year, that's always a game that I look forward to because I don't like the Cowboys and I want us to beat the hell out of the Cowboys every time we play them. And the other two are the Chiefs game, which is November 20th, and the 49ers game, which is December 3rd. So if you're an Eagles fan or if you follow football, then you can kind of, comprehend like, yeah, I understand why you might be looking forward to that because, that was playoff type stuff from last year. So the Eagles beat the 49ers in the NFC Championship game last year, and the 49ers were doing a lot of gibbering and talking. Debo Samuels, among others, just talking about, if we had our quarterback, blah, 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 we would have won this and that. Okay, cool. So if that is the case, then block for Brock Purdy. You know what I'm saying? Like if y'all think y'all can beat us, with your quarterback in there, then y'all should have blocked for your quarterback. So, that's something that like people when they said that and people say that's like, okay, well, your quarterback did start the game. It's not our fault that well, it is our fault, but I mean, we knocked your quarterback out of the game, man. He came into the game, he started the game, but we knocked your quarterback out of the game. And then we knocked your backup quarterback out of the game. So, yeah, you can say that if we had our quarterback, but hey, who's to say that that's not going to happen again when we play the 49ers on December 3rd? Hassan Reddick is still coming, along with Jalen Carter, along with Fletcher Cox, along with Brandon Graham, along with Josh Sweat. Them boys gonna be amped up to play this game. They're gonna be amped up to play that game. It's gonna be a physical game. I think the 49ers, like, they want some get back from the Eagles from last year. They want some payback. And I can't blame you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't blame you for wanting some get back. I can't blame you for wanting some payback. Um, because you guys got beat. You got beat down in the playoffs. Not both of your quarterbacks out. Eh, I mean, I would want some get back too. But make no mistake about it, the Eagles want to play the 49ers again too, because all during the offseason, their players were chirping about this and that. So I guess they feel like it was a fluke that they got beat the way they did because they didn't have their quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But dude, block for him, block for him, or the D line, they're coming, and they're gonna hit him, and they're gonna hit him again. So either you gonna protect him, do max protect, whatever you got to do, because them boys coming. When you talk about a defensive line, the Eagles have probably the best defensive line across the board in the NFL. The deepest. I'm talking about starters, your whole rotation. Like, they can go double rotations and some as far as talented defensive lines go. So when we play the 49ers again on December 3rd, definitely gonna be a game that I'm looking forward to because I can't wait. I can't wait. And then on top of that, the week before, the Eagles got the Chiefs. And now they're gonna be super motivated to play the Chiefs because of what happened in the Super Bowl, right? When you go to the Super Bowl, you have the season that the Eagles had last year, right? And you go to the Super Bowl and you play your heart out and you come up short, losing the game by 3 points. You lose the game by 3 points. They're gonna want some get back. So that's gonna be a really good game against the Kansas City Chiefs on November 20th, a couple of days after my birthday. So that's gonna be a great week for me. It's a night game. It's 8:15 game, so I'm assuming that is a Sunday night game. And then the next week's game is against the 49ers on December 3rd. Um, that is a evening game, 425 game. So Eagles got a lot of primetime games this season. I guess that's what happens when you're coming off a Super Bowl, but yeah, those two games, man, I can't wait. I can't wait. But until then, I got to look forward to this coming Sunday against the Dolphins, which I fully expect that the boys they'll bounce back. Um, but that's gonna be a huge test to try and slow down the Dolphins' offense. The Dolphins have a really good offense. I'm not gonna take nothing away from the Dolphins. They've been playing really good this season. I think they would have been in the same position last season if Tua didn't get hurt. He's managed to pretty much stay healthy this season. Um they pretty much been able to stay healthy this season against against the uh against the grain. So Tua remaining healthy, no concussions so far this season. God bless you, man. Hey, there's a lot of Miami Dolphins fans in here in Florida. I don't think the Dolphins have had this good of a season um, in a long time. So kudos to them, man. Kudos to them. Happy for their success. That's gonna be a really good game. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up, man. Thank you for everybody out there who watched the video. YouTube, we're trying to get this thing back popping this year. We need you to like, share, subscribe to the video, to the channel. And I appreciate you guys for checking out this video. Appreciate you guys for watching. Until next time, peace.